Now let's go toss some plastic. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today's a special day. We are in Covington, Georgia at Parker's Pasture. Now, why is it special? Because this will conclude the top 5 courses in Georgia. So that is quite the accomplishment. The first state I've ever done that. I haven't even done it in my home state of Michigan because, you know, our courses are far more spread out, like 9 hours apart. A lot of these are pretty close together, but we have hole 1, 300 feet, pretty standard hyzer shot, little flip up with a late finish. I'm gonna go with my hex and I am really excited to get this round started. Alrighty, the hex, 300 feet first shot, I should always go with my leopard. The hex takes some warming up, not a great start. Let's get going. The last time I started with like a hard hex throw was at Tiger Park on my last trip. I pulled my back so bad because I didn't warm up pushing for long distance. It did not heal until I got back home. Months of extreme back pain because sleeping in Greta doesn't exactly help you straighten things back out. Oh, almost started with a banger. Hole 2, 185 feet, and I believe if you guys see this red pole, that means we are at the shorts. Green pole, I believe, is the longs. Like usual, we're gonna hop back and forth, but we do have this tricky kind of slight ante shot the entire way, and it seems we're gonna be in a woods battle the entire round, which personally, I'm very excited for. It always kind of brings me back to Michigan, but we are gonna go with the Envy. Settle down. Oh, super weird reaction. Caught something, bounced, slid down the hill. I'm not sure if we're gonna have a look at the basket. It's gonna be tricky. These big trees are completely blocking us, so we're gonna have to straddle out, give it a little height, big hyzer putt for the 2. Nice putt. We're gonna need some momentum if we're taking on a big wooded course. One spicy thing about Parker's Pasture that I saw a lot of recent review comments on Udisc is at some point, not too long ago, they moved the pins and made them all longer and made them all harder. And it seems like it has not gotten a good reaction. A lot of people are pretty upset with that. I'm curious if we're gonna notice it. It's hard not knowing where the original pins were, but apparently we should be playing holes that just seem weirdly and unnecessarily difficult. You guys will have to let me know what you think. Hole 3 and the footages on holes and 1 and 2 could be off because when I was thinking about it, with them moving the tees back, the tee signs are no longer accurate. This says 415 feet, but our hole is a par 3, 498 feet, big downhill shot through the woods. I'm gonna go with my Firestorm, and not for nothing, gorgeous hole. This looks like a really fun throw. That looks like a pretty good toss. Get up there. All right, the Firestorm, king of downhill throws. That worked out great. I am not gonna lie, guys. I'm feeling a lot of pressure on this putt. This would be a beautiful 2 that we could pick up. I'd guess probably around 55 feet, slightly uphill to get that birdie. Come on. Oh, noodled it. If you got a big putt, never come up short. It means you had no chance. Can't let it take away from our great drive though. Hole 4, 387 feet, and man, is this a tight tunnel shot. Not to mention, it's going uphill the entire way. I'm gonna go with my Orc. Oh, it's low, but it's a good throw. Not a ton of distance, but we hit the line we were aiming for. We'll gladly take that. We're still 93 feet short, and as you can see, we have this low ceiling. We can either just throw a dart, more of a layup right at it, or we can kind of give it a little run, go for a big ante shot. Maybe we'll get lucky. And of course, that's what we're gonna try with our Pro Rhino. Or, you know, we lay up anyway. Dang it, that was so boring. I stepped up to that shot and did not account for how much elevation it gained at all. Hole 5, another bruiser of a hole, 718 feet. Now, I cannot visually see the basket, but all I know is that we have to go straight. We have to hit that gap. Once we get through there, no matter where the disc lands, we'll work it out. I'm gonna go with my Halo Wraith. Oh, fight a little faster. Okay, yikes. Well, we got through it. We just never hyzered back, but you know, we're up there. We'll figure it out. Oh, I said the same thing twice. That's not good commentary. All right, so yes, that left finish would have been extremely helpful. The basket is still a mile away as expected, and I have this big gap right in front of me, and I need to hit that, and then I need a ton of understability to make our way back towards the basket. We for sure will not reach it on this shot, but if we could leave ourselves, you know, kind of a throw-in attempt, I'd be very happy. I'm gonna go with my Hades. Oh, man, what a terrible throw. Very tricky lie. Uphill, a lot of leaves. The Hades was the right disc. All right, I don't think we're getting par now. All right, guys, we've dug ourselves into a massive hole here. And to be honest, I don't know where the basket is. The way this hole's laid out, it essentially just remains blind until you get, you know, up there quite a way. So I'm just gonna take my orc, absolutely rip it down this straight line. Hopefully we can find it and find the basket. Oh, we're hit. Oh my goodness. I think that tree hit was actually pretty helpful. I'm not gonna lie, I think the orc would have just blitzed past the basket. I got a little too much anger after that bad throw. We have a long putt, but a chance for the best par save ever. I would guess probably around 75, 80 feet. That's too wide. Good putt, good distance, just too wide. I really wish we could have that second shot back. Hole 6, and we have a very tight line here, plus kind of a low ceiling. There is a big forehand route. Doesn't suit up great for the turnover. I think the turnover would have more of that throw and hope feel. And as you guys know, I like to go right at it. And I'm gonna go with my Envy. Get up there. Oh, I think that was a really good shot. I hope it is, because that means the Envy is officially getting fired up. We all have those discs that just love the woods, and the Envy definitely thrives in it. Real quickly, just some unsolicited advice from yours truly. This is something that I've talked about a lot with people that I've met on the road who are just trying to improve their game no matter the skill level. This is a perfect example. 700+ foot hole. And the first question I hear people say all the time, where's the basket? Where's the basket? Where's the basket? Guys, that gap is your focus. If you can hit that gap, you're happy days. You know what I mean? Happy days. From there, you find the basket and you attack it. But if you step up and you're just thinking about the basket, you're not gonna focus on the obstacle right in front of you. Even myself, often, I will have no idea where the basket is, but I know that's where I'm supposed to throw. So just a little chunk of advice. It can be helpful, maybe it won't. Hole 7 and another fun one, 281 feet, and we need a sharp anhyzer. There's like a giant tree up there kind of protecting the basket. If we just slide up to that, I'm perfectly happy. And I was feeling a little spicy this morning, so I went in my box of what I like my fun discs, and I pulled out a gem. And I have thrown it on the channel before, but we're gonna go with this old DX Wolf. Just gorgeous. Get up there. That is my first time throwing that one. And, you know, it worked out good. I always forget how understable those things are, but the Wolf is a very fun disc. We have a long putt, probably around 42 feet, over the tree, in between two other trees for the 2. Oh, deep. We got it. No more of that. The deep has been my miss for a long time. Nice par. Hole 8, 782 feet that way. Now it looks like we are gaining elevation off the tee shot. We want a good amount of turn, and then I would assume maybe a left finish. We are just gonna play it safe and go with our Wraith. Oh, it's low but safe. That's the exact line we were looking for. No reason to try to push it to get more distance. Fairway is our friend. Now it is kind of a pain that a lot of these approach, you know, these long holes, a lot of the shots in the middle are completely blind. Now I am shooting my rangefinder at that tree because it looks like we want to go about 40 feet past that tree and then get a ton of stability. So with that information, I think I'm gonna go with my Firebird. Always wipe the leaves. When I film, I get super lazy with that and I just slide all over the place. I think that's perfect. Go, go, go. All right, really nice first two shots there. Hopefully we can finish it up. We've left ourselves a little Annie shot, 175 feet. I am gonna go with my Pro Rhino. Hopefully we can just execute this and have a stress-free putt. All right, we noodled it a little, but we should be able to knock that down. It always feels good when you just slow down a little bit and get locked in for these tough woods courses. Hole 9, Udisc has this footage at 206 feet, but I'm not entirely sure. The sign says 260, Udisc says 206. This says it's the short tee pad. I don't know where the long tee pad would be. I think we need to force something over to the right and have a left finish. I'm gonna throw the Kia super hard. If we don't make it there, it's definitely in that 260 pin, I think. Yeah, I think it's 260. This is a weird hole. It's a weird hole to try to figure out here. We have this beautiful little lane almost carved out for us. Knock this one down probably 36 feet for the 2. I swear, I've had like just the biggest putting woes for quite a while. More basket hits than putts going in, that's for sure. For today's hole 9 break, I want to talk about Craig, and a lot of you have had some piqued interest in him lately, and I'm just going to give a little backstory on him. So before Craig kind of meandered his way into the tossing plastic world, believe it or not, he was an actor. Yes, his first role was actually playing, you know, the movie Gremlins. He wasn't Gizmo, the cute one, when it transformed into the gremlin. That was actually Craig's first role in a film, and you know, he didn't even have to put a costume on. That was the best part. And you'd think, you know, must have been in his younger years, like as an infant. Believe it or not, at that time, even at that, you know, this tall, he was actually 14. So yeah, I mean, just a really late bloomer. His acting career did kind of start to pick up from there. If you guys, a lot of you have seen SpongeBob, you know, Plankton works in the Chum Bucket, that big ugly factory. That's Craig. That was his adolescent years. A little rough, but again, no makeup was needed. So it was the perfect fit. And then after that, he did dive into something just as exciting. If you've seen Shrek, that swamp he lives in, also Craig. That was kind of when he was like fully maturing. And I think that's kind of where both, you know, visually and career-wise he peaked. He looked great, acted great, and he was a key role in a lot of movies, kind of the unsung hero, if you will. After that, Craig's life really started to spiral, getting out of, you know, the spotlight. He worked at, I think it was like 13 exotic mattress stores is what he told me. And then every time he'd go out in public, people would take pictures of him. And that's why Bigfoot sightings really started to increase. And he just couldn't handle it mentally. So he really, sad to say, but he hit the bottom of the barrel and ended up here, you know, in the tossing plastic world. Now, I try not to take that personally because I'd like to think maybe I'm a bit higher, but we do embrace him. Everybody loves Craig here on the channel. So yes, that is his backstory. And if you guys do enjoy the content, all these, you know, kind of top tier courses that I'm trying to showcase to you and the funny stories, please consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. Go to the website, tossingplastic.com, nice and simple. I got some t-shirts and, you know, a couple hundred used discs on there as well. So make sure if you have some time, to check that out. Thank you. Hole 10, 301 feet. And as you can see, we have this tunnel shot right in front of us, gaining elevation the entire way. And a left finish would be preferred, but if we end up straight, that'll work fine too. I'm gonna go with my champion leopard. I think that's a pretty good shot. Nope, hit a tree. We have left ourselves a long, big Annie putt for the 2, probably around 85 feet. Yeah, that was a tricky one. A lot more Annie than I originally thought. For the par, that one was actually kind of tricky too. Hole 11, and this one, just to be honest, is very difficult. 387 feet. Now, the only way to actually make it there is the longest, most finesse forehand shot you've ever seen. Because as you can tell, we kind of need a flip up to get through here, but the basket finishes off to the right. So I'm just gonna play it nice and simple, take my hex. I mean, really only looking for 200 feet. In fact, I think I'm gonna switch and grab my Rhino. Yep, that's all we're really looking for there. Maybe we'll have a long throw at it. Even from here, we don't really have a chance at making it. This pin is tucked in a very difficult location. I would guess we're probably around 65 feet away. I'm just gonna give my Justice a little flick, hopefully get our par and move on. Oh my gosh, we almost made it. We almost made it. For the 3, hole 12 and another tricky one. Udisc has it at 373 feet. As you can see, tight tunnel shot, downhill, and all along this right side is a pretty decent sized river. So now I'm not gonna go for anything too crazy. I'm gonna send my hex up there. Hopefully if we get a little throw at it for shot number 2, I'm happy with that. Oh, that might be in the river. Oh yeah. Oh no. Woo! We were starting to hyzer. We clipped a tree. I couldn't really see it. Rocketed towards the water, hit another tree, and I think we landed on solid ground. That is a win. We have left ourselves 184 feet. This tee shot is very tricky, and this hex downhill just never comes back. It holds that turnover just forever. I'm still trying to get used to it. We're not in the water. Life's good. Hopefully we can get up and down from here with the Rhino. Oh yeah, absolutely perfect. Great par save. For the 3, it's always a shame when you just see these absolutely gorgeous places out here in the woods. We have this nice river running through, and there's just trash everywhere. You absolutely hate to see it. I think from this bridge I can see probably 15 tires and a whole bunch of other trash. Maybe I'll get out here, try to pick some of it up, but clearly tires, I can't do anything with those. I've thought about, let me know your guys' opinion. I've thought about trying to pull tires out and just putting them in the parking lot. I think some people might get really mad though, because they might think like someone just dropped them off. But if I haul them all the way out of here and put them in the parking lot, then I think somebody from the city would come get them. So you guys let me know your opinions. I'm really been mowing that over. Hole 13, 260 feet. As you can see, we're going downhill, slight Annie the entire way. And I think there might be water behind the basket because I just let some people pass and it looks like they were digging for quite a while. So with that being said, and that information gained, I'm gonna go down to the Rhino, hopefully end up quite a bit short and leave ourselves a putt. Get up there. All right, that's what we were looking for. To be honest, I probably would have grabbed the Envy, and going downhill, the Envy can sail. May have saved us our favorite disc. We have left ourselves kind of an edge of circle straddle putt because of course the Rhino landed right behind the tree for the 2. And we chained out and went down the hill. Perfect. For the 3, Hole 14, 486 feet. It looks like on Udisc, the basket is essentially just straight. So what I'm gonna try to do, take my Wraith, get some turnover, hit the left side of this middle tree. Hopefully we have enough room to get our little S-flight, attack the pin on shot number 2. Exactly like that. The drives are feeling good today. I'm enjoying this course, so I usually play better. Talk about a well-protected basket. I don't know how I want to attack this. I could kind of do a lean out, flex forehand shot, but my intrusive thoughts are telling me to grab the scepter or the splice, go really low, and just try to get some big lucky skip through everything. So it's either gonna be the Justice or the splice. Oh, it absolutely worked. You gotta love. There's nothing that'll get me more excited than a fun skip shot. I think we all knew that I was gonna try the skip shot. Hole 15, 806 feet. As you can see, we need a pretty strong hyzer shot off the tee. And the other weird thing is the tee's facing just right towards the woods. It'd be a little better if it was actually angled, you know, where we were throwing, but I'm gonna go with the Halo Boss. I haven't thrown this for a while. I think I can get it past that big tree, let the stability bring us, and then assess the next shot. Get around it, please. Barely got around it. Probably shouldn't have thrown it. I think we're still about 480 feet away. We definitely should have went with the Firestorm there, but we've all kind of had that disc that feels like it's getting neglected in the bag, and you just gotta throw it sometimes. I am gonna go with my Halo Wraith, just get it down there, and then attack the pin on the next shot. Oh, goodness. I don't know if you guys can see, there's this branch, like this little tree that's just growing out right in our sight line. So we had to try to bounce it out. Not well executed. Now we are still 228 feet away, and if we can get up and down from here, this bad shot won't really affect our round. Now, we do have a very low ceiling, so we have to come in low, get some ground play. Now I've already thrown the Rhino. It's hanging out up there, forgot to hit record. So hopefully we can do the same job with the Envy. Yep, that's a Rhino shot. All right, that's gonna be a long and tricky putt. My laziness gets me again. I could have went up there and got the Rhino, didn't. Every shot on this hole so far has been terrible, and the Envy was just as bad. If we can knock down this putt, we'll walk away fine, but it's nearly impossible. It's really tricky any putt through all this stuff. I don't know, probably around 42 feet. Oh my gosh. Oh, that hurts my soul. That actually hurts my soul. That would have been so good to kind of rebound through that ugly hole. Now that I've essentially played this entire course, one thing that I was focusing on the entire time was a lot of that recent backlash I saw in the reviews on the recent pin placement change. And I was kind of determining that by, you know, because now all the most of the tee signs are just wrong now, right? So I was looking at the distances and seeing how much farther away they were making these holes, and you could see the previous locations. And in my opinion, that was a horrible decision. I don't know who made that decision. I don't know why, and I don't know all the, you know, behind the scenes details, but in my opinion, as a traveler, it doesn't really affect my game other than the tee signs are wrong, which is super annoying. But people leaving those comments are obviously somewhat regulars if they noticed it, and it seems like none of them approved. I feel like by making a 700-foot hole an 800-foot hole, that doesn't really appeal to pretty much anybody. And then you make holes that were reachable, even by people, you know, who don't have a ton of distance, they're now unreachable. So you might be catering to the top 10% skill level of disc golfers and just giving a lot of pushback to the bottom 90, the average player, the people that are giving your course, you know, the steady traffic. So I have to agree. I have to agree with a lot of those people. I don't understand it at all. Hole 16, 424 feet. And guys, it is becoming very apparent why a lot of people would be upset on the recent, pin locations change. And the other thing is, it's got to be mostly locals, right? People who play this course, obviously somewhat regularly. I will touch a lot more on that in my review, but the baskets, some are way up there to the right. We just got to try to land straight and attack the pin on the next shot. Going with my Orc. Low, but fairway. All right, we definitely have taken away a lot of our distance today, more focus on just hitting those lines. Really happy with where the Orc landed. As you can see, it's a very small kind of landing zone that you have to hit here to be able to attack the pin. Now we're still at an almost impossible shot. Way uphill, all these trees kind of creating this arch is taking away our height needed to get to the basket, but we are gonna send it anyway with the Waka Waka. Come on. Oh my goodness, now it's rolling. Now it's rolling, no. Did you guys see how close that was? I really thought it was going in. Oh, brutal. That would have, without question, been the best Waka Waka throw-in of my life. But instead, we are left with probably 52 feet-ish, way uphill for the 3. Oh, terrible, but it still got me flustered. Hole 17, 210 feet, dead straight, way uphill. I'm gonna go with the Envy. Hopefully it can make it all the way up there, even with this crazy elevation gain. All right, I think we made it up there. I think that was pretty good. I will say we did get a little lucky there. We definitely missed the line. We shot on the left side, but we threw it well. So we got some luck, but rewarded because it was a good shot. Regardless, we'll take it. Rounding off our very fun day here at Parker's Pasture, we have hole 18, 503 feet. As you can see, it's a gorgeous but very daunting tee shot. We have to hit that initial gap and then get a ton of right turn. Now I will say, guys, this is probably the last throw of the video because I did see hole 18's basket when I pulled in out there in the open right next to a playground, and I can hear a lot of children, so maybe they'll leave on the way up, but you guys know the rule, no cameras around playgrounds. I'm gonna go with my Hades. All right, I think we may have got too much turn on that. Like always, the Hades, more often than not, does not do what I would like it to do. And that wraps up today's video at Parker's Pasture in Covington, Georgia. And I will say, guys, immediately, the big takeaway and what I enjoyed the most about here is that you pull into the parking lot and then you just go straight into the woods, completely secluded away from everything else that is going on. As you can see, Parker's Pasture is a battle from hole 1 to hole 18, all in the woods, and I absolutely loved it. Stepping up to each tee pad, trying to maneuver, figure out, even manipulate my disc to hit the certain lines to be able to attack the pin on the next hole. As you can see, the baskets are nice, bright, and yellow. Absolutely love to see it. And the tee pads are in great shape. And unfortunately, as we talked about throughout the video, the tee signs were not very accurate, which was a bummer. I had to use Udisc the entire time, a few times to kind of get myself back on the right course for navigation purposes, but also distance and the layout of each hole. We also had a lot of elevation change, which was a lot of fun, but none of it was too extreme. It was all very manageable, which is a bonus for anybody who does struggle with mobility. But the elevation is definitely something that you have to consider when you're on that tee pad. Like most well-designed woods courses, you're gonna need that tool bag. You're gonna need a lot of different shot shapes to lay down a good score. Overall, I'm gonna give Parker's Pasture the solid score of 9.2 out of 10. I think this course is an absolute riot, and there's not many things that take away from it. The length is one of them, I think, for the average player. But if you love playing in the woods, this course is perfect. If you just love to hike and be out nature with disc golf being a byproduct, you're gonna have a great time too. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Now it's your turn to go toss some plastic.